everyone, I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sam.
And we are NV Board Gaming, and today we're looking at Picture Perfect. This is a game designed by Anthony Nouveau and published by Arcane Wonders. It's a 2 to 4 player game, and Andrew's going to go through how you play, and then we're going to give our reviews.
Picture Perfect is a game for 2 to 4 players that plays in about 45 minutes. It is designed by Anthony Nouveau and published by Arcane Wonders. Let's see how it's played. Now, before we talk about how to play a game of Picture Perfect, I'm going to first go over real briefly how to set up the game. So the game is going to come with different cards depending on the different player count. So as you can see, I'm setting up for a 4-player game, so I'm going to use the 3 to 4 player cards. Also, these cards, there's going to be 2 different types. There's going to be an exchange card, and then there's going to be auction cards. For the purpose of this teach, I'm only going to use the exchange cards, but there is a variant in the game where envelopes will be able to be auctioned off using these cards, and you're going to be spending these decorations in order to buy those envelopes. But again, we're just going to be talking about these exchange cards. Okay, then you're going to have 6 exchange cards, or a combination of 6 cards if you use the auction. You'll give those a good shuffle, and you'll place those in the center of the table. Okay, the next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking these envelopes. Now, there are 14 different characters in this game, and each of them have their own envelope. So what you're going to do is you are going to shuffle these preference cards, essentially, which is going to make up which each person would like, where they want to stand around the table, and who they want to stand next to, what they like, what they don't like, okay? So you are going to shuffle these cards up, and then you will place 3 into every single envelope. Now, I do want to take a quick second to kind of look at these exchange cards, just so you know. I know the one in my just random example wasn't that exciting, but some of these cards, there will be a lot more changing of the portfolios, just so you know. So, for example, this one here, players take turns in clockwise order, beginning with the starting player. The active player takes any 2 envelopes from the middle of the table, and then the active player then returns any 2 of their envelopes back to the table. And this is going to everybody's going to have a chance to do this. This one here says each player gives 1 envelope to the player on the right and 1 to the player on the left. Here we have where you reveal the contents of 2 envelopes from the middle of the table to all players. Here, each player keeps 1 envelope and places the rest in the middle of the table. You'll shuffle all of the envelopes in the middle, randomly deal each player back the same number of envelopes that they previously put in the middle. Okay. All players simultaneously take 1 envelope from the player on the left. And this is one that we had already taken a look at earlier, so you already know about that one. Okay. And remember, with the VIP cards, you can add this to any portfolio, and this will make it to where that specific card will score twice, or that specific portfolio will score twice. So if I put this VIP card in here, now if I fulfill all 3 cards, it will score twice. So I'll get 12 points instead of 6 points. Once you have prepared all the envelopes, you will distribute them based on the number of players. So in a 4-player game, you're going to give 3 envelopes to each player, and then you're going to put 2 in the middle. So I would give 3 envelopes to each player and 2 in the middle. All right. And that is how you're going to set up Picture Perfect. Now, after you have finished with setup and fully distributed the envelopes, your player area is going to look a little something like this. Now, I will say, just as a disclaimer, that these acrylic pieces do not come in the base game. This is a promo that I was able to get while I was at Gen Con. So just know that in the normal game, the pieces are going to be cardboard, and they're going to look like this, all right? So that's what the normal game is going to look like. They're just cardboard, whereas these are the acrylic ones, which were promos at Gen Con. Anyway, back to the game. So once you have it, your setup's going to look similar to this. You're going to have your screen, your floor, your table, and all your people along the sides, and you're going to have your envelopes. Each player is also going to get a VIP card, which they are going to be able to add to an envelope during the game, and that will allow that card to score multiple times. Okay, this is going to be a score tracker at the end, and the start player is going to get their starting player reference card. All right, and when they get this, they're essentially just going to be following the steps for each round, and after 6 rounds, the game is going to end with whoever has the most points being the winner. All right, so for the first part of the round, all players are going to have a chance to look at their portfolios and freely rearrange any of your figures that are out on the board. Okay, so let's say I take this portfolio here, and this is going to tell me that the lady in the yellow dress wants to stand next to the little boy, wants to stand on the right side, and wants to stand on the left side. Now, obviously, these two are conflicting because they can't stand on the left side and the right side at the same time. So know that it is only possible to score 2 out of 3 cards. Okay? And what you're trying to do is meet as many of these preferences as possible. And you're going to score points based on how many of these cards you satisfy. For 1 correct card, you will get 1 point. For 2 cards met, you will get 3 points. And for 3 cards met, you will get 6 points. If you meet none of the preferences, you will get -3 points. However, if you do not place a character out onto the board, then you don't have to worry about losing or gaining points. Okay, so maybe for this example, I will take her and I'll put her on the left or right side. Let's say I want her to go on the right side. And I might just try to manipulate a little bit and just kind of put this next to her to be like, okay, she wants to be next to him. He's not on the board, but just as maybe as a reminder, because I can't write these down, but I need a way to kind of give myself a hint at what maybe the preference was. So I can rearrange them however I want as I am going through this each and every single portfolio, okay? Then you take the cards, you place them back in, like so, and then you move on to the second one. So now we'll take a look at the dog. The dog wants to stand on the left side. He wants to stand next to Professor Xavier, and he doesn't want anybody to be standing in front of him. And I say him, but the dog and the tree are the only 2 people in the game that do not have genders, and genders may come up in future cards. So the dog wants to be on the left side, he doesn't want anybody in front of him, and he wants to be next to Professor Xavier, which is what I'm going to call him. So I'm going to put him here at the front, because then I know no one will ever put him in front of him. And then I'm going to put Professor Xavier right next to him, just in case, because who knows, I might get his card a little later, or his portfolio a little later, and I might have to move him. He might not want to be in the front or around the table, whatever that is. Then I'm going to put the cards back into the envelope. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to take her cards. She wants to stand next to Colonel Mustard. She wants to be on the right side, and she doesn't want anyone to see her face. Now, if this card was in the Lady with the Yellow Dresses portfolio, then they don't want anyone to see my face. They want them to make sure. So I want to make sure no one sees the face of the lady in the yellow dress. If this was in the yellow dress lady's portfolio, then you would do the bottom part where it says, if that's me, I don't want anyone to see my face. However, that could change depending on the character. There may be ones that say, I do want them to see my face if this is me. Just make sure you read that bottom part just in case it meets that criteria. Okay? So she doesn't want anyone to see the lady in yellow's face. So maybe I'll, as a reminder, try to put the plant in front of her as a reminder for myself. I'm just trying to give myself maybe some clues as to what I want. Okay, she also wants to be on the right side, so maybe I could use her to block the lady in yellow. But then she also wants to be next to Colonel Mustard. So maybe I can try to angle Colonel Mustard in front of her to where you can't see her face. Okay, because at the end, when I take a picture, I want to make sure that she cannot be seen in the picture, because that is going to mess up the cards for this lady that I just put out. Okay, after you have gone through all of your cards, I'm going to go ahead and put these back in the portfolio. Okay, and after everybody's had a chance to go through all of their cards, then you're going to move on to the second step, which is reveal the top card of the exchange deck and read it aloud. So let's do that next. So I will take the top card of the exchange deck and I'll read this out loud. So each player may choose any one envelope in the middle or from another player, look at its contents, and then return it. Okay, so then we would take that and everybody would get a chance to do that. So maybe I want Professor Xavier's portfolio because I got the dog who wants to stand next to him and I want to make sure I place him correctly. Well, he wants to stand in the third row. He does want to be around the table and he doesn't want to be around the table. So again, I cannot fulfill all three of these, but at least now I can place him in a place that will help with the dog. So if I have the dog that doesn't want anybody in front of him, but then this guy also wants to be around the table, but he also wants to be in the third row, this will be a little difficult. So, because you want to make sure that he gets seen, but then the dog also wants to be on the left side, and this is where it gets a little trickier. So this actually would only fulfill one of the cards, but if I come back here, then I might be conflicting with the cards that the dog wants me to play. And you're going to be going back and forth doing this, trying to figure out, okay, I want to score as many points as possible, but where can I make sacrifices if needed be? Because if I can satisfy all three of this, but only satisfy one of those, then maybe I can equal out the points and you're just trying to get the best score. After everybody has gone around and picked the portfolio that they want and given them back, then you're going to move on to the third part of the round, which is where all players will follow the directions of the card, which we already did, and then you're going to discard the used exchange card and pass this reference card to the player on the left. So then this card will get passed to the player on the left, and then we will continue to do the same thing. People will be able to review all of their portfolios that they've gotten, and then you'll flip over another exchange card. After 6 rounds, what you're going to do is everybody's going to have an opportunity to place out any characters or maybe not, and then you are going to take a picture with your phone. Okay, so let's say mine maybe looks something like this, or maybe I don't want to put everybody out there. I don't have to. It's totally up to you. And then you are going to take your phone and you're going to take a picture at any angle that you want. And whatever shows up on that picture is how you're going to score for some of the cards, because it's going to be important for ones that don't want their face seen or want to make sure that nobody's standing in front of them or whatever it is. Maybe they do want their face seen. It just kind of depends on the card preferences for each individual person. So let's take a look at how you do the final scoring. Okay, so let's say my picture looks like this when I take it. And then after everybody has taken their picture, they're going to take their screens. They will place it down in front of them, and they will place their little marker on the 0 of the tracker, okay? And then you are going to go through each and every single portfolio, scoring points for everybody on their board. After you've gone through everybody's portfolio, whoever has the most points is going to be the winner of the game. And that's how you play Picture Perfect.
All right, thank you for the teach, Andrew. Welcome back. Andrew, let's talk about pros first. What stood out as a pro for Picture Perfect?
So for me, I thought it was unique and different in the fact that it was kind of, that hidden information game, but yet you were placing these little pieces around the table and trying to take you use your phone, but the picture isn't really that big of an aspect of the game. I mean, if you're trying to hide someone's face or they want to make sure that you can see them, like that's important. But other than that, I don't think really the technology aspect is too big. But I really like that it was unique. It was a different kind of theme, not one that I thought would really appeal to me necessarily, but I enjoyed the theme. I thought it was interesting and I felt like I was an actual photographer trying to be like, hey, you stand over here, you move over there. So I could really get into the theme of the game, which was nice. And then I liked how quick it was. It was super fast, you know. I liked the exchanging and being able to kind of offer up maybe some cards that you can auction that maybe you don't want and maybe other people are willing to pay for. So I really liked how quick the game played as well.
Yeah. Anyone else? Like pros that stood out?
Yeah, I like that you can add a VIP card to one that you think you'll score really high that maybe other people hadn't had a chance to see. And the clear standees are cute. I mean, the idea that, yeah, that's a nice touch.
Is that acrylic?
Yeah, so they're acrylic standees, but they're promos. So I got those while I was at Gen Con, where the original, it's like the cardboard cutout kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can, I would say if there's a way for you to upgrade that, if you only have cardboard, if there's a way, if you find a way on BGG, I would probably recommend that. It does look a lot better.
Adds a lot to the game, I find, yeah.
And they're a little weightier, so they're not as easy to knock over, because when I played with the cardboard ones, they fall over pretty
Yeah,
easily.
they were falling over a lot.
Yeah, so I would definitely think the acrylic.
The stands I actually didn't care for. The little stand things. I thought it was not, I don't know, it felt like I was going to break it when I snapped it in. You said you got in the groove and you started doing it, but I was just messing with it. I'm like, I don't want to break his game. This is Andrew's game. So the standees were a little clunky to me.
I like the 3D table. I like that that's out there and you flip that box over and you have it. And I really like the placement rules and the cards. It's a bit of a memory aspect of remembering what the criteria for each card was and trying to hope that you place somebody right. And you want to place as many people as you can, but you need to have the info or else you're going to pay for it if you're just dropping everyone anywhere you see fit.
Yeah, and it's kind of like if you like the games, maybe we're like Calico-ish, but it has that memory. It's not like Calico, but if you like Calico, you'll like that part of it, the puzzling nature of it. Well, if I do this, I can do this, but it's going to mess up this. You get that in Calico too. The same feeling, but the memory throws it a curveball, so I'll get into a negative. I'm not a big fan of memory games at all. I don't like memory games, period. So for me, that part of it, I didn't enjoy as much. I enjoyed the puzzle of it. I like the puzzle. If I had things I can look at and adjust on the fly, I like that. I like Calico for that, and Cascadia even. I like those type of games. The memory kind of threw me for a loop. I don't really like memory. Oh, I forgot all about what that guy wanted. It's been too long. And there's ways for it to come back to you. Somebody can offer it up for an auction. You can look at it again, but you hate to waste your time on something you've already seen. So there is that. Do you guys have any other negatives? I know you guys like the game quite a bit. Do you have any negatives?
Yeah, my big negative, I don't really care for the auction that much. Just because I think it tends to slow the game down a little bit when you're waiting for everybody to put up something for auction and then you're bidding. And like you said, if somebody puts up a portfolio that you've already seen, you're less incentivized to actually bid on it. Whereas I feel like with the exchanging of the cards, it's a lot more fluid. Like, oh, you take something from somebody, you exchange with the middle, or you're giving. I feel like there's a lot more. Yeah, you see a lot more of the actual portfolios as opposed to the actual auctions. So I know they're coming out with like the 5th and 6th player expansion. That's why they had, when we were at Gen Con, they're like, hey, take some additional promos because we're going to be coming out with this expansion. And I hope that they maybe fix that a little bit with maybe some more exchange cards or maybe even better auction cards. Because for me, that really slowed the game down and really kind of even made it to where you had less information to move forward.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with him on that one because it does feel like you see less of the portfolios. And I mean, I think there are even some people like you just can't place because you just never see it, throughout the game. Whereas when we did the exchange, pretty much you got to see everybody for the most part.
Right.
So
possibly,
We had whole rounds where people were betting 0 because no one cared. So that seems like a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
It seems like it kind of faltered a little bit toward the end with that mechanism.
Like a missed opportunity almost.
Yeah. But overall, well, I guess I'll go first.
What's your score?
I'm gonna guess the lowest maybe of all four of us because of the memory thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that. So it's getting points for uniqueness for sure. The look on the table, it looks really nice. Totally different idea. So you're gonna get points for. You're gonna get credit for
Very
me for
creative,
that.
yeah.
You're gonna get credit for the puzzle. I love the puzzle. I love doing puzzles. I love it in Mansions of Madness when I have to do a puzzle. I get all excited. I love in Calico, like I already mentioned. I like it in Cascadia a lot. For me, all those things together with the memory, I'm gonna give it a 7.3. So it's still a positive score. But for me, I think I might be the lowest of the four. Let's go with Vic. What does Vic think?
Yeah, so I really immediately liked the look of the game. I liked the quality of the components that, Andrew had, of course, those special standees, so a little different, but really intrigued me. And I liked the artwork. I thought the artwork was nice to me, and the characters were interesting, and the backgrounds were cool. And the functionality of the game was different, and I had fun playing it. It was a quick game, so I didn't feel like the game overstayed its welcome. Altogether, I'm giving it a 7.7. I thought it was quite good. Yeah.
Okay. I really think this is a super unique game. I think based on just the uniqueness of it, and I just think it's cool being able to have your different background and everybody's looks different, and then you're taking an actual picture of it on your cell phone to see oh, am I blocking who wants to be blocked or whatever. So I thought overall it was just really unique and fun. Because originally when I saw it, I was like, this is a little weird. Okay, but it was cool. I like memory stuff sometimes, but I think with this game I was okay with the memory. So overall I would give it an 8.5.
Nice.
Okay. I am not as high as you. I think I really enjoy the game. I think it is one that I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did. I do worry that it might feel a little samey over time and that there might not be as much replayability. Yeah. So I think my score may drop over time. So I'm just going to preface that ahead of time. But I did give it an 8. Whoop. 8? Yes. 8. And I really hope that they fix those issues maybe with the auction and everything when they come out with the expansion. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how that works. Yeah, so 8 for me.
Well, that's our thoughts on Picture Perfect. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel for more great reviews. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.